Well, it'd be interesting to kind of for him to expand on that in terms of why. I've always said, I put it out on Twitter yesterday, I've always been partial to Ari Fleischer in terms of modern day press secretaries. Ari guided us through 9/11 with a calm and professional reassurance that was really needed. I'm not really sure what Jen has done to deserve this, other than not take serious, tough questions. It's interesting from a guy who purports himself to be a tough reporter to sort of hold that up as an example isn't really what I would have expected.
When you've held that position, as someone that has held that position, what do you think of her handling of that position as White House press secretary?
You know, Sean, it's funny you mentioned the book at the top. I got two chapters in here, 17 and 16. They're both about the media. And I take more of a concern with I mean, Jen's job, as I've always said, the press secretary's job is to speak on behalf of the principal. The fact that no one pushes back on her, the fact that she isn't called out on the hypocrisy, the double standards, the failure of their policies, frankly, isn't her problem. It's a lack of journalism that's being or not being conducted in the White House briefing room that should be something that is alarming to anyone who aspires to or was a journalist. When you look in that room, and you know, we know this, you and I both know that they never call on our news correspondent, Emerald Robinson, because Jen refuses to take tough questions. But she gets away with it because you have a complicit press corps. And that's the problem, Sean, is that you have a press corps that overlooks, that, you know, creates problems by omission. And I think if you wake up every day, you're not watching Newsmax, there's a lot of issues that you just don't even hear about because the media today refuses to cover things. They basically are doing everything that they can to cover for this administration. And that's frankly why I wrote the book, is to make sure that people understand what's at stake.
Yeah, and I'm going to get to your book in just a minute. Yeah, where's the curiosity? That's the thing that baffles me when we watch these
Exactly.
these press conferences. I'll just play this, and just to kind of showcase it, this is one of the comments Psaki made during her tenure as press secretary. This was in response to a recent event, President Biden going maskless at a fancy D.C. restaurant. Here's that.
I think what we were referring to is a photo of them walking out of a restaurant after they had eaten, masks in hand, where they had not yet put them back on yet. So I would say, of course, there are moments when we all don't put masks back on as quickly as we should. But I don't think we should lose the forest through the trees here, and not overly focus on moments in time that don't reflect overarching policy.
It kind of points to one of the things that you're talking about. There's no real pushback there. It wasn't a photo. It was a video that someone took of him walking out of the restaurant without a mask. He had it in his hand. Look, we've all done it, but the bottom line is if you're pushing a certain message, you want to adhere to it to be an example.
Exactly. And remember, this is also how they started off the first day in office. At the Lincoln Memorial, same thing happened. Question was asked to Jen that right after he went and signed an executive order about mask mandates, he then went to a federal property, i.e. the Lincoln Memorial, didn't wear a mask, and she dismissed it the same way that she did this time. So the funny thing is, look, as you said properly, there's zero pushback. No one in that room pushed back on that and said, that's ridiculous. You can't be the one who's championing it and then not abide by it. The president was also very clear that you should be setting an example with your policies. So regardless of the aforementioned spin that she threw out there, the president, according to his own words, is somebody that should be setting an example. D.C. has a mask mandate in the District of Columbia. So he literally was not abiding by the rules of the District of Columbia, rules that he has, championed and supported, mandates that he has supported. And so I think there is continued double standard when it comes to this administration. And frankly, so many of the folks on the left when it comes to do as I say, not as I do.
Final thoughts from you. Your book, a lot of anticipation there. I know you've been, there's a lot of hype about it. Tell me about it. Does it come out tomorrow, I believe?
It does. I mean, if you pre-order it now, and if you go to newsmax.com/23, it'll take you right to the Amazon link. I got one in my hand. I'll make sure you have one in your hand very soon. But it'll show up tomorrow if you go order it today. This is the first comprehensive look at the Biden-Harris administration, the people in it, the policies they're pushing. But most importantly, Sean, what I like to say is the why. What is at stake? Why are they doing what they're doing? If you're getting ready for the holidays, you know you're going to have that crazy uncle or crazy aunt that's going to show up and debate policy with you. You need to read the book right now so that you have the facts to fight back and to explain to people that it's not as the media is portraying. Here's the why, what they're doing. Here are the people that are surrounding Joe Biden, why they're not qualified to hold the jobs that they do. And then I end the book with chapter 20 talking about an agenda that people who don't agree with this current administration can get involved in different ways and read different publications and learn to fight back. And so I think this is really a blueprint as to A, what's happening, and B, how to move forward.
A lot of anticipation for it. Comes out tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it, by the way. Sean Spicer joining us live. Make sure you catch Sean on Spicer & Company, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Newsmax.